put it in East Jerusalem, have it all decked out, set up, then flip on the open sign and say, we've already moved the embassy to Jerusalem, get over it. That would send a signal to the Arab world that there is new management in Washington, D.C. That's what the Arab world needs to hear, that we now have new management. Because if you look at this so-called Arab Spring, I don't call it an Arab Spring. I call it Sharia ascendancy. Because what President Obama has done, if you go back to the beginning of his presidency, when he had his very first foreign policy speech, do you remember that? And do you remember where it was held? It was held in Cairo. But not just in Cairo, Egypt. It was held at the center of Islamic thought and learning at the university. Now we also remember, if you go back to that day, June of 2009, that Hosni Mubarak at that time was the president of Egypt. Hosni Mubarak had nothing to do with the Muslim Brotherhood. Hosni Mubarak saw the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. They were not welcome in Egypt. And also the spiritual leader of the Muslim Brotherhood is Qaradawi. Qaradawi was not allowed in Egypt. Qaradawi, by the way, the spiritual leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, has called for the killing of our United States troops, both in Iraq and in Afghanistan. That's what a great guy Qaradawi is. So Qaradawi was kicked out of the country. Muslim Brotherhood was kicked out of the country. So what did our United States President Barack Obama do? When he decided to have his very first foreign policy speech in Cairo, he invited, personally, the Muslim Brotherhood to come to his speech. Now remember, they've been banned from Egypt. But President Obama invited the Muslim Brotherhood not just to attend his speech, but to sit in the front row of his speech in Cairo. Guess who didn't get invited to the president's speech? President Hosni Mubarak. Can you imagine going to another country and so insulting the leader of that country, who, by the way, has done, although he's not perfect, has done a pretty big favor by maintaining the peace treaty with Israel for 30 years, by insulting him so much that you would invite his avowed enemies to come in and hear the speech, and then not invite the president of Egypt to come in to this speech? This is shocking.